First thing we're going to make today, you have your sheets. It is Hazelnut Crunch, formerly known as Hazelnut Cream Crunch, but now it's Hazelnut Crunch. Okay? All right. The first thing we're going to put into, this is a 24-quart machine, and we're going to make a half batch. So normally in a 24-quart machine, you would use a whole bladder, which is 10 quarts of cream. So we're going to use, good girl, that's why you're in the front row, 5 quarts of cream in the machine. We could make a full batch, but we'll make a half.
That's fine.
Okay, that's enough for everybody.
Yeah.
The recipe for this precisely is in a half batch 24-quart machine, it will be 5 quarts of mix or cream or whatever, 5 ounces of vanilla, 53 ounces of Nutella, 4 ounces of sweetened chocolate powder, and then we'll throw Oreos in for kicks. Okay? That'll make Ken happy. That'll make you happy, Ken. All right, so we have 4, how many quarts? Come on. Okay. 5. A little trick, you know, all these measuring things have the measures on one side. A little tip is to turn it around away from you, and that way it's easy to read as you're pouring rather than trying to bend down and look at it. Oh, what a great tip, Jeff. Oh, you're welcome.
And it works.
It works.
I use that to make coffee now in the morning. I'm half blind and in the morning, and I can see through the pot and get the water just right.
It's pretty good.
It is. It's a good tip.
All right, make sure your gate is closed. Otherwise, you're mopping.
Guilty.
Ooh, tough crowd. All right. So we'll pour this in the machine. Now, when you're pouring stuff into the machine, just a little tip, the higher you go, the easier it is. To a point. Mike, is my mic on?
Yes.
Okay.
What happens, Jeff, if you take that container and put it right on the lip?
This is a planned commercial, right?
It's not a planned commercial, but no.
Okay, if you do, then what happens is what Steve usually does is he puts it here and it winds up here. Oh, tough crowd today. All right, then we'll add 4 ounces of sweetened chocolate powder. I like to turn the machine on to get everything mixing as we're doing it.
What is that called that you poured it into?
The machine.
Okay.
Batch freezer.
Okay, I'm just saying like the part. But,
Oh, the spout.
okay.
Or the throat, spout, throat. It's kind of like Carter Buggy.
And then we'll put the Nutella in, which has been softened with a little microwave action to make it easy to pour. See how easy that is?
I told you it would get cool as it sat. You know, you didn't listen.
So now we'll have to help it with a little. Just talk amongst yourselves while I'm doing this.
was a lot easier than scooping it.
Okay, this should pour easily because it's really hot. Ah.
Does anybody have questions so far? I hear some mumbling over here. Yes.
So it's fine to heat it straight to the machine.
Christy?
What's the
It's-
question?
It's not super hot like he was saying it is. It's on the warmer side. Now, obviously, microwaves heat from outside in. Thanks. So this is a lot warmer than what's on the inside. So heating up peanut butter and Nutella, that's okay. But don't put something that you're cooked off of the stove. Like a lot of people try to cook a mix or try to cook something down and then pour it straight into the machine because that's not good to do. But if it's, room temp or warm, that's okay to do.
And how about over here?
I seen this guy yesterday, and he poured that stuff in a jug with stuff in it and used a drill and mixed it up real pretty.
That's what, he does. I bet that's probably where you got it from, huh?
The reason we did that in class is because we used a full tub, which is 106 ounces. Because we're using a half batch, we're needing 53 ounces. So 53 ounces was 2 of these bottles, and because I don't have my drill with me to mix it properly, I thought we would heat it up in the microwave and then pour it in the machine, which does a very good job of mixing. Okay?
I thought you guys were going to be butt-headed about it, that's why I thought.
I chopped up some Oreos, a package of Oreos, and we'll add those in. The whole package? Well, I'm not putting that part in. Just the contents. Okay. And we can also, by the way, start the machine now, right? Start the, what's it called?
The
The refrigeration. Christy, what'd you do with my spatula?
I rinsed it.
I'll tell you the help here. Thank you.
By the way, Jeff has a class. It's on the back of his shirt that says Mystic Ice Cream Boot Camp. And that's for 2 days prior to this class. And it runs at the greatest level of high efficiency, just like we do. Right, Jeff?
Well, I don't know if it runs at high efficiency. But we have several graduates of the class this week sitting right here. 2, 4, 6. All right, so we'll turn on the refrigeration over here, and if you listen, you'll hear the compressor start up as soon as we do it. And then as soon as the compressor starts up, this is a water-cooled machine, so you have a flow of water coming into it to cool the motor, just like your car, and then you have one coming out, and it comes out into the sink here. So after we hear the compression, it's just a habit. I always look to make sure the water is flowing. So listen, you'll hear the compressor. That's pretty loud. That's good. And now the water should be flowing freely.
Oh boy. Somebody didn't do their job.
Is it on?
No.
Can you get it?
Oh, it's
other
coming
one,
out the
Steve.
floor.
All right, it's on.
Well, actually, it's on the floor.
Okay.
Steve,
Yes,
it's on the floor.
I see that.
Okay.
Okay, Mike. Can you want to turn the
Cut.
refrigeration on again? No, we can't do that. We're live.
We're live.
Yeah. Try that again.
Well, hold, it's going to come out on the floor here.
It shouldn't. That was the one that I turned on. Okay, now see if it's running.
And there it is.
See, even the most rehearsed shows have their problems.
So what was coming out on the floor?
That was another water valve that I turned on by accident.
Had nothing to do with this.
They don't let me touch iPhones or water valves.
Or printers
Or printer. All right, that's enough.
All right. So
Okay.
now we'll add the Oreo. You wouldn't have it any other way, right?
How the machine pump up if you wanted to run it up the wall and back down.
Okay, the question was the discharge water. If you didn't have a sink nearby, would it pump it away? Yes, it's under partial pressure, so that if my sink or my drain, my indirect waste, was in the bathroom next door in the other room, I can literally go up the side of the wall, over the ceiling, and back down to it again, because it's under enough city water pressure to do that. Yes?
Do you know how much it puts out?
Approximately a half a gallon of water a minute, depending on your actual water temperature. Your water temperature in Alaska in the winter is going to be much colder than Saudi Arabia in the summer.
Those are extreme examples.
Right.
Could have been Maine and Florida.
It could have been Secaucus and Englewood.
That's correct. Newark and Flatbush. Okay, so that's Hazelnut Crunch. Just so you know, the third flavor I'll be making today is something I've never played with. It's saffron, and I ordered, it comes in these little bottles, which are pricey, as you know. Saffron is pricey. This is $150. So while we may not make this ice cream routinely, I thought we'll give it a shot. You know?
Sounds good.
We'll see. So that brings me back to the fact that what I did was I came in early this morning and I ground it up and infused it in some of the mix, the cream. And this is what and then I heated it up in the microwave to start the melding process. And that's what we'll be adding to the ice cream later today. I thought it would sit out here and have it saturate the liquid.
Do you always do that with spices?
I've never dealt with this before.
Okay. But like other spices, is that how you get the flavor?
I really don't use spices in ice cream.
Cinnamon
No, cinnamon, just shake it right out. But this stuff, for some reason, I felt that well, I researched it, and they say that you should infuse it somehow. They didn't tell me how, so I just, well, that's not happening. Oh, that's because that's not the top of the box, it's over here. So anyway, if you want to look at this, you can. And they tell you to add cardamom. Cardamom. I like that word, cardamom. It's cardamom. So I added some cardamom to it, and now this is sitting here. And what we'll do is we'll add, and I don't know if we have too much or not. When I was doing it this morning, Mike said, now don't add a lot, but I went and added the whole thing. We'll see. Hey, you don't like it? You know, throw it out. So we'll see. That'll be later today. And we'll add just some nuts to it, and then we'll have it. So there you go. So that's later. Any other questions? Yes.
So is that the 350?
No, that's the 24 quart. The floor models are 12 and 24. They're identical in size, except the 12, the barrel is that wide, and the 24 is that wide, and the price difference between the two is minimal. This is the CB350 over here. That's the largest selling machine in the world. And over here is the 200, which I just took out of line. There you go. That makes 3 quarts. 8 minutes. Approximately. It depends on the flavor you're making, because if you're making a high sugar content product like salted caramel, the extra sugar, the more sugar in the product, the longer the freezing time. So salted caramel might be 10,
Whoa.
11 minutes.
That's good.
Anybody else for Jeff? Ice cream? Okay.
Well, just can you tell us a little bit of the difference between the two, just as in the side versus everything else?
That's about it. This is going to make 24 quarts of finished product, and this is going to make 6 quarts of finished
No,
product.
this one will make 6.
Sorry, over here. Yeah, 6 quarts. So this is 4 times bigger than this.
And
that,
they work the same way.
but that becomes important nowadays because labor costs are going through the roof, and you've got a machine that lasts on average 40 years. So if you can make 4 times as much product with the same labor, you're paying for 1 hour of labor, you're getting 4 times as much out of this as you are here. So your factors are how much do you want to spend and how much ice cream are you going to need.
What I tried to express to the class this week is the total simplicity of this process. Aside from all the silly jokes and other than that, what we're doing is we're pouring the cream base into the machine and some Nutella, Oreos if you want, and that's it. It's really a very simple process. We're ready?
Yeah. Well, we have to open the handle.
What'd she ask?
Yeah, does it come out automatically?
Automatically? How do you define that?
I took your cue and said you have to open the handle.
Here's the automatic way to get it out. Put your hand here and lift. And there it is.
That was fast.
Ooh, that was fast. And now I'll turn it over to our leader. She will dish it out. And you'll try it, won't you?
Yes.
Okay. And we'll try it. Oh, by the way, the reason it comes out ingenious, why it comes out so fast, is that the barrel inside, we talked about this, the barrel where all this is being made is canted 5 degrees. And that, it's tilted down 5 degrees. And that just shoots it out. It may not seem like much now, but when you're doing a run and you have to make 5, 6, 8 flavors and you want to get home, that helps.
It's also the design of the dasher.
It sure is.
Which is to push the product out, too. Yes.
This is one of those stupid questions, I think. So you're obviously going to put, like, whatever you're going to put in your freezer underneath there to catch it, like the 5-gallon bucket or something that you would, because I don't know anything about this, that you can put in your display freezer.
Yeah, we're using 2.5-gallon buckets or gelato pans.
Okay, that's, so, is that what you use typically, then you just put them in a freezer or display freezer to serve?
You take it from here and put it into a hardening freezer overnight
Okay.
at least 10 below, and then tomorrow you could either take it out and put it in your serving cabinet, or you could leave it in there for weeks on end.
Okay, so it stays in the hardening freezer at least overnight, but
Yeah.
you can leave it in there.
You can leave if all of a sudden a hurricane comes through or a typhoon or
Okay.
anything like that, and the weather's going to be bad for 3 days, leave it in the hardening cabinet. It won't deteriorate.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? I'll just show you one trick that Christy, I'd been pulling ice cream like Jeff for many, many years. But Christy came up with this trick. I want to show it to you. This is set for homemade like Jeff just made. I'm starting it up. Now, you won't actually see anything, but when Jeff lifted the handle, that ice cream came out very fast. What if I wanted to fill pint containers? Well, in the old days, you had to be like that, and like that, and like that. Christy comes along and looks at me like I'm strange from Mars and says, why don't you just slow it down? So instead of maximum speed, I'm going to cut it down to about 1/4. So now by opening it, it's coming out much slower, and I have a little more time to fill my pints and put up another one, just because it's not being pushed out as fast. If you're doing production, you want those pints out quick, then you speed it up. I can even be running at a slow speed. Let me just take it down to gelato. And I'm just going to let you hear the difference. This is a gelato speed. It's quite slow. Now here's maximum speed for homemade, and it's going to push it out faster. You can hear the RPMs, the speed of the drive. So that's, we want less air in the gelato. We want less air in the frozen custard. Super Premium has less air. I adjust the air for dairy-free. And this is a unique invention of mine that's now coming up on 23 years old. So that's a little
good,
trick
right?
for filling
Yeah.
pints and quarts. You don't have to go buy some $3,000 special cover. All you do is just slow the drive down. How's that product? A question I've got into asking is, what would you change on it if you could?
I know what I would change. I'd put more in my cup.
Can I have some?
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
I need to take a stack for.
It's thick and rich and creamy with a lot of flavor. I think it's good.
So,
Oh, Jeff, that's great.
It is good.
Yeah. Ooh.
if you wanted a little more crunch, could you add more halfway through the process so it doesn't break them up as much after it's kind of already started hardening up?
Yeah, she convinced me to chop them up beforehand and put them in. Otherwise, you would have had more crunchies in there.
And what if you put like real nuts in there? Is that allowable?
Well, let's allowable.
Or can it go in the machine, okay?
Sure, sure. You can
Just
put
more expensive, probably.
more expensive.
Yeah.
We don't worry about that. When you're in this business, the last thing you worry about is how much it costs to make your ice cream,
Okay.
right?